Hey guys, this is Pharaoh 2091, and welcome back to Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. Last time we left off, we were talking with Agent Lang here and Francisca about, their logic regarding why he thinks that she killed Damas II and what she was doing in the office before the murder actually happened. And while we were doing that, we found out there was a contradiction between the amount of flowers that she saw and what there is now, and we actually made the assumption, or we made the conclusion that the hair sticks can be used as arrows. So now it's like, what? Possibly, but what the hell's going on? So now we're going to go ahead and hear Agent Lang's second portion of the whole border crossing incident. So Babel's statue was draped in the Yadgras's clothes, and that shot over there, even if you fired statues from this side, they wouldn't go far if a statue tied to them. I don't think I need to tell you that the premilk statues don't sprout wings. You're a realist, after all, aren't you? The premilk statues didn't sprout wings? Of course they didn't. Glad you understand. I feel much better already. I was afraid for a second that you were unaware of that crucial fact. It's only crucial because you're under the belief that wings are necessary to this equation. What? You need to free your mind a bit more and let it fly like a bird on the wind. The Prima statue flew, but not on a wing. Allow me a bit of your time, and I'll explain this mysterious phenomenon to you. Well, he needs to explain it to me too, because I'm a little confused as well. But whatever. Let's just keep pressing. Why the hell not? Well, that incredible scene just happened to have been caught on film, resulting in this photo. Ha! And what an incredible scene it was! This photo was taken by a freelance photojournalist, right? Yes, so I hear. And not every photojournalist is known to be honest, right? Especially not the ones that I saw photos of spirits and giant creatures to tabloids. Yes, I know what you mean. I've seen those sorts of photos many a time in court. Oh, Lada. But there have been times where those photos have turned out to be telling the truth. If you had ever stood in court of law, you would know that's entirely plausible. Ha! You really do believe the stuff you're spewing right now. A courtroom certainly is a strange place if what you say is true. But there really is something odd about that photo, no matter how you look at it. Even if you fired arrows from the side, they wouldn't go far of a statue with them. Let's press on that one as well. But we are in agreement that an arrow by itself would reach the other side, correct? But just the arrow by itself is pretty meaningless, don't you think, Mr. Prosecutor? Because the things they wanted to be smuggled were a lot bigger than nothing. No, that's not necessarily true. What? What I need right now is not further discussion on my conclusions. It's the launching of my conclusions. What the shooter wanted to launch with the crossbow was not the statues themselves, but rather something a crossbow could launch that could be used to move the statues. Huh. If it wasn't a statue that was tied to the arrows, then what did a crossbow launch? And if we just take into account what the hell Edgeworth just said, it's what happens if it's not the statues themselves they wanted to send over, but something they use to send the things over. Well, I have a perfect thing that we just couldn't piece together whatsoever once we found it. We found this piece of wire over in the Secretariat's office in Babel, in the grandfather clock. Now, if you think that maybe you can tie this and shoot it over, maybe you can make some type of makeshift zip line out of this, just maybe. That's how you could do it. I would think so, anyway. Finally, we have reached this point in our discussion. For I present to you that which was carried by the arrow from the crossbow. Ha! I get it now, Mr. Prosecutor. I can see exactly what you're trying to say. You're saying that the wire was tied to an arrow and was shot into Mr. Colchin's office. All the way from the 5th floor on the Albastian Embassy. Down to the 3rd floor in the Babylese Embassy. What you're claiming is really what happened. I can see how Albast's Prima statue could be moved. Gravity could be used to move the statue down a wire from the 5th to the 3rd floor. But then, what about Babal's Prima statue? The dark shadow in this photo is clearly flying away from Babal. Going the opposite way of gravity from the 3rd floor of the Balbulese embassy up to the 5th floor of the Albastian embassy. How do you explain that? Aha! I think I can finally see how the gears behind this whole trick works. Agent Lang, the motion used behind this trick. I wonder if perhaps you have yet to envision how it works in your head. Motion? What motion? This is the motion I was employed to smuggle Babal's Prima statue. Now, think about this. This has to go from bottom to up, you know, down to up. So, a swinging motion wouldn't really work because we're trying to move upwards, and even when we have like a good arc, I don't think it's going to be able to get to the other embassy. And besides, that just doesn't seem plausible. Bungee, the same thing. It's like, how the hell is that going to work? Now, a rotary motion. Let's say maybe it was tied to something, and maybe we can use it kind of like a crankshift or like. I'm trying to think of examples, but I think you guys don't understand what I'm talking about. When something is moved in that type of motion, you can kind of move it kind of like a conveyor in a sense. So maybe that's the only way that it can actually be moved. I believe it was done via rotary motion. If the two statues were transported simultaneously... Simultaneously? Get real! The statues collide somewhere along the way. Did I ever say that there was only one line of wire between the two offices? If you shot an arrow with the two ends of the wire tied to it, a circular belt can be formed. Lang Z says, don't object and call a success what is beyond reasonability. Is that even a word? Reasonability. What? Oh, whatever. Taking into account the tension differences between the two wires, the top one was sagged too much to the point where the statues would collide anyway. Agent Wang, as you know, the Prima statue is a one-of-a-kind national treasure. And the fact that Babal's statue is a hollow replica of the real statue, it would naturally be lighter than the real one, meaning that my idea is very possible. Lang Z says, "Whoo!" Okay, never mind. Here's what I believe happened. I was actually going to say the word howl, like howl, but it's like, no. Miss Yu and her mystery co-conspirators set themselves up into two different rooms. The co-conspirators bridged the rooms by shooting the two ends of the wire down on one arrow. And two of them covered the statues and proceeded to transport the statues. After the switch was completed, another arrow was fired, carrying the other end of the wire down to Babal, where it was to be disposed of. And to do that, Miss Yu hid it inside a grandfather clock. QED. Ha! Gah! This proves it, right, Agent Lang? That I'm not the killer. Not yet, sis. I still haven't had my dessert yet. Right, Mr. Prosecutor? The proof is in the pudding, as it were. Pudding is a nice dessert. It really is a good dessert. I haven't had it in a while. So, do you think you can do it? Can you prove that what you said is what happened? Because remember, if you can't, I'll be taking a certain someone back home with me as a souvenir. I agree that as long as there's no proof, my hypothesis remains just that. However, what I have laid out is no mere hypothesis, for there is one more piece of evidence. One more? This should be interesting. You think you have a piece of evidence that will turn your hypothesis into fact. Well then, let's see it, Mr. Prosecutor. The thing that made it possible to create a circular belt on a length of wire, I believe that it is right here in this very room. Now then, I believe that this is what made the circular belt transportation method possible. And the only thing that kind of makes sense would be, well, the ceiling fan, because it has a rotary motion to it. Goes in circles. Can kind of be used like a crank in some sort. Ha! Looks like you dropped another bomb on us again! The last piece of the trick are two pulleys. Precisely. The ceiling fans double as pulleys in this case. And thanks to the fact that there's one installed in each of the offices, the ceiling fans made for the perfect pulley set for the wire to run on. Go! This must be it. This is how the smugglers bypass the impenetrable security. You really are something else, Mr. Prosecutor. I bet you figured it all out already, haven't you? You know what who the big hotshot that set up this real-life stage show is, don't you? The person who set up this rather large and complex stage show needs to be someone who had foreknowledge of the existence of a ceiling fan in both the Alabasta and Al-Babalese offices, and that the passion flower support stakes could be used as arrows. The real mastermind behind this case is... Well, don't you dare make this wolf wait for his food! Why are you so hesitant, Miles Edgeworth? If you can't say who it is, why don't you present something like you always do? A single point of finger here in this case will explode into an international incident. However, it's already too late for me to stop the forward momentum. It appears I have no choice now, but to rush in. There's a piece of evidence that will point us to who the mysterious mastermind is. What could it be? Well, you know what? These crossbow arrows might actually help out. Just maybe.
Take that!
The smuggling could not have been possible without the use of the crossbow. Furthermore, the arrows that were shot by the crossbow were plucked, as it were, from the flower box in this very room. They were planted so long ago that the passion flowers had the time to grow so big that Miss Aunt Carmen didn't even notice the arrows when she visited this room today. On top of all this, the fact that the culprit knew that both offices had ceiling fans tells us that the person had very detailed information on the embassy's layout. So as you may have already guessed, the person I am accusing of hatching this plan is the person who grew the flowers in the flower box with the utmost care. You're not being serious, are you? Thus it can only be you, Kirkus Alba! Really? Ambassador Alba? Are you out of your mind, Miles Edgeworth? I'm certain of what I am saying, and I'm sure that he is the culprit. Tell me, Mr. Prosecutor, what was the embassy trying to accomplish by doing all that stuff you just outlined? Why in the world would he need to use a trick like that? I understand you need to doubt me. However, there's one thing that stands out to me as very odd. Just one thing, huh? The one single end result Ambassador Alba sought to obtain. If we were to examine and focus on his complex trick, I believe we will finally find the answer to everything. Everything will become clear once we examine this piece of evidence. What piece of evidence can we look at? Well, perhaps it's this one, because it was used as a weapon and it is a fake. So maybe we can actually look more into this.
Take that!
I would finally understand the reasoning had the situation been in reverse. However, to go through the trouble of swapping a real Prima Nut statue for the fake, I sense a very shady reason for such a bizarre action. And who better to ask for that reason than King Prima Nuts himself? I see. Ambassador, we'll be examining that statue now, with or without your permission. Is that a yes, or a whatever? He's not answering. Well, let's take a look. I guess we can start with the head. Maybe we'll pop off. This guy kind of looks like the Steel Samurai, don't you think? Maybe it's because they look alike that he was picked to be the Goodwill Ambassador? I suppose that's possible. Take a look at this area around the base of his neck. Looks like a gap. Hey, you're right! Maybe it's meant to be some kind of secret. Perhaps it's possible to open the statue from this gap in this construction. What? Hurry up and open it, Miles! Alright, here goes. Oh, holy crap, look at that! Wow, it really did open up! Hey, what's this thing that fell out? I believe a more thorough examination of it was required. Now, wait a minute. I think I already know what the hell that is. That looks like a plate. A money plate. Like, to print money. What in the... is this? Hey! Is this what I think it is? It's a plate for making counterfeit bills! Somehow, it appears what we've at long last arrived at the exit to this complex labyrinth. We finally hold within our hands one of the counterfeit money plates, and the reason why the replica was smuggled into Albaz to begin with. Oh boy! I think I know where this is going. The primitive statue can only be handled by the ambassador or the secretariat, and the replica is nothing more than a hollow shell covered in gold. These two circumstances to make the statue the ideal object in which to hide contraband. After receiving the statue containing a counterfeit plate from Shi-na, the ambassador had the misfortune of accidentally running into Damascus II. Surprised by the thief, the ambassador raised the replica statue at Damascus II and... well, killed him, apparently. But in order to frame the Steel Samurai of the murder, he covered the Steel Samurai sword in blood. Well, Ambassador Alba? You're the leader of the smuggling ring? My country is a mess, and it's all because of you? You're the one who killed Damascus II? Answer us! I never thought that you would figure things out of this level. However, there's one point I disagree with you on. The head of the smuggling ring was Mr. Cochin. Quit, I think it means quit. Quit screwing around! I have no sympathy for someone who would try to pass the guilt onto a dead man! If there's one thing I'm sure of, it's that you're a real ringleader, Kirkus Alba. Kirkus, whatever. It's not good to speak with such subjectivity, you know, Agent Lang. Subjectivity? My conclusion is anything but, and is the result of logic and investigation. Logic and investigation? Only seconds ago you were ready to arrest Ms. Von Karma. I don't think we can give such flip-floppy logic any real weight, do you? Ha! It looks like you still don't get why I came back. Excuse me? You see, the reason I came back is so I could sink my fangs in your wrinkly old neck. From the very beginning, my real target has been you. What? Agent Lang, I demand explanation. Sorry, sis, I didn't mean to put you through all that. I knew you were innocent from the very beginning. Well, damn! You should have told us that secretly or something. You did? I knew this whole incident had been meticulously planned and prepared for. I definitely said that one wrong. So naturally, the occupant of this room, Ambassador Alba, seemed the most suspicious. But without the Ambassador's permission, we couldn't get in to take another look around. Ah, so that's why you put on this big show to accuse Francisca of the murder. Using Francisca as a bait, you were able to gain us entry and investigate her rights. Yeah. And if I hadn't done that, I doubt the Ambassador would have given the okay to poke around. So that's what all this was about. Very well, I will forgive you. But in exchange for using me as bait, you will take some responsibility and help us find the truth. Agent Lang, for giving me such a great opening. I thank you. You know, I just knew, Mr. Prosecutor, that somehow, if we were able to find some proof of investigating this room, that you would be able to figure out the real culprit with your special brand of logic. Ha! The evidence detectives collect combines the logic of a prosecutor. That's just as it should be in a prosecutor-detective team, right? I don't know about all that. But one thing I do know is that I'm itching to see that old man when he gets what's coming to him. You're quite scary when you want to be, aren't you? Hey, you were the one who was planning to use me to push all the guilt onto the sis. But unfortunately for you, you misjudged me. Agent Lang, I wish for you to stop trying to intimidate me. What we need right now is evidence and proof. I wonder if you have what it is necessary to prove that I am the head of the smuggling ring.
Objection!
Don't be such a sore loser. If you really are the head of the smuggling ring, then you should acknowledge your crimes of dignity. Dignity? That is nothing more than a fool's insincere display of strength. If you really wish for me to acknowledge my crimes, then I would like to first see some of the things you call evidence. Ugh! I tell you, I knew nothing. Really. I didn't even know that a counterfeit plate was hidden inside that statue. You swapped a real statue to vest in your country the authority to rule for a fake. It doesn't make any sense that you didn't know anything. It doesn't make any sense. Why doesn't it make sense? Can you prove that it doesn't make sense? Ugh! He's really got us. He's turning the entire situation around against us. The proof that Interpol has been after, which points out this man as a ringleader. We can somehow find that proof now, and we can see to it that justice is finally served. Is there nothing I can use to break this case wide open? The trump card and the videotape. With those two items, we might be able to finally bring this man down. But the card is evidence from a case of Mr. Faraday hid away in secret. And the tape was stolen by Detective Bad from the police. They're both illegal evidence. Damn. No matter what, a protector of the law can't be allowed to use such pieces of evidence. Needless to say, we Von Karmas are commanded to achieve nothing but victory, by any means necessary. The only way to bring someone like that to justice was to do something outside of courts. That's all we thought at the time. Anyway, I no longer follow the path of Manfred von Karma, and I won't follow the path of the Yatagarasu. This leaves me to what? What creed will I believe in? If I want to pursue the truth, then I will sully my hands in illegality. And if I want to pursue justice, then I will lose the truth. What is the law and what is justice? And which path is a prosecutor supposed to follow? That choice is one I must make my own hand here and now. Actually, I won't do that right now. I want to do that next time because it's such a good cliffhanger and this video is going on for too long. So, as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play Ace Attorney Investigations Miles Edgeworth. I'll see you guys later.